Namaste and good morning to everyone. From Sonoma, it's a beautiful sunny day. I thought about giving this reminder talk to everyone as the new year is approaching. Some people would want to get a little more connected with their practice. Some people may want to start a new practice. So it's just consider it a reminder to what you already know. I won't be saying anything new, just reinforcing what you already know. In the last talk of this series, we talked about our true nature. What is our true nature? Wholeness. We are complete unto ourselves. Nothing is really missing from outside, including the divinity, the divine, the sacred. It's all within. The divinity resides within you. We are a mind-driven culture. Everything that we bring in, everything that we go out to pursue, it's all driven by mind. And it's the mind that takes us away from that wholeness, that sacredness, that divinity that we are all looking for. What we are really looking for outside is a sense of connection with something bigger than ourselves. Although it's within, but we are seeking it outside. There is something outside that will make me feel more whole. It's our mind that creates that idea, because the mind's very nature is to attach itself to something that is moving. The whole concept of mind being still is just an idea. Mind is really never still. Its very nature is to attach itself to something that is moving. Just the example that I gave, you're laying on your back looking at the sky. You are lost in the vastness of the sky. A little plane appears. Your mind attaches itself to the plane. You begin to track the plane. You have totally forgotten about the vastness of the sky. Silence is always there. From the beginning of time, sound appears. Our mind goes to the sound. We have lost the silence. Silence hasn't gone anywhere, it's there. But our mind has gone to something else, and we say we have lost the silence. You're reading a book. How often do we really think about the blank piece of paper on which the words are written? It's there, but our mind never goes to it. Our mind goes to what is happening on the surface. So the whole purpose of spirituality is really to bring our mind to that which is always there, constant in its fullness, in its wholeness, unchanging, unblemished. that aspect of our life that has been with us from the day we were born, a part of us that's unchanging, ever whole, ever pure. Then the events happen, things happen on the surface, our mind goes to that, attaches itself to that, and we call this is my life. The whole purpose of spirituality is to bring our mind back to that which is ever pure, ever whole, that we call God. People call that with so many different names, but the whole idea is there is one aspect of our life that never changes, always stays in its wholeness and in its purity. Well, mind is always moving, changing. What do we do? How do we make friends with that mind so it begins to stay home? So it begins to appreciate what we are already blessed with, what we are already given unconditionally. Whether you are a holy or you are unholy, you are pure, unpure, impure, you are a sinner or you are a pious one, doesn't matter. That purity, that wholeness is given to us all unconditionally, that gift. And at any given moment, we have that possibility to turn towards it. How do we turn towards it? By paying respect, by honoring the gift that we have already been given. And the most precious gift that we have been given is this breath. Is this breath. It goes beyond all religions, all dogmas, all concepts. We all have been given this breath from the moment we were born. This is the gift from God, you can say. So the way to honor, respect that presence in our life is by paying respect to this, the gift. I also mentioned in the last talk, doesn't matter what you do, as long as you do something in the name of honoring that, respecting that. You can pray, you can meditate, you can sing songs, you can dance, you can, whatever you do. But as long as you know why you are doing it. So if you have ever thought about bringing spirituality in your life, always remember to do something daily in the name of honoring that gift, in the name of honoring that presence that's within us. We all have that presence. If we didn't have that presence, we will not be searching for it. We all have an idea. There is something bigger, something greater than what I make my world or my life to be. Mere the presence of that idea, that thought, proves that there is something bigger. So it doesn't matter what you do. Could be as simple as taking those 3 deep breaths as I talked about last time. But while you are taking those 3 deep breaths, you know you are taking this breath to honor that presence within you. My teacher, Baba, used to say, your presence is the presence of God. If you are not present, God could be standing in front of you and you will not see. When you are present, you can see things, but we are not present because riding on the chariot of our mind, we are constantly moving, running, judging, expecting, feeling. All that thing happens because our mind is going somewhere else. Well, you say, okay, Babaji said this, so from tomorrow on, I'm just going to carve out 5 minutes every day and just be quiet or meditate. Your heart says yes. But mind will always have a little hesitation because mind feels threatened by any commitment we make. Any commitment. If you make a commitment, okay, from tomorrow on, I'm going to meditate for 10 minutes every day in the name of honoring that presence. Heart says yes. Heart has no option. That's why they say heart is blind. But mind feels threatened because mind does not like to be disciplined. Mind does not like to be tied down. So whenever we are treading on the path of union, we are taught about the nature of our mind. Mind feels threatened. So it is said, mind has 4 lassos. You know what a lasso is? Or noose? Like that they throw on the animal and put it in the neck and drag it. So our mind has these 4 tools of bringing us back to our old self. The first one is called Sam. Sam means denial of the importance of the promise you have made to yourself. Denial. Oh, it's not a big deal. If I don't meditate today, it's not a big deal. The world will not collapse. Just suppose you have made up the promise to yourself that I am going to meditate tomorrow, from tomorrow on, every day for 10 minutes. You get all prepared, you create your space in your house, and okay, this is where I'm going to sit. You get your alarm clock to get up a little earlier. Clock goes on, alarm goes on. First thought will come in the mind. Oh, I'm having such a good sleep. I don't want to get up. It's not a big deal if I don't do it. It's not a big deal. That's the first thought the mind will say. The truth is, it is a big deal. What could be a bigger deal than honoring the divinity within you? Honoring that presence within. If that one is not honored, if that one is not respected, then we walk in the world like a hungry ghost. The more connected we are with this part of our life, the more centered we are, more calm we are, more accepting we are, more loving we are. So the first thing, Psalm, denial of the importance of the promise you have made to yourself. Suppose you are able to talk yourself through that. No, I have to get up and I better go and do it. It's only 10 minutes. The second lasso will be thrown at you from the mind, undisciplined mind. Dham. Dham means a better option. You have gotten out of the bed to go and meditate, to go to pray, whatever you are doing. Dham, a better option. Oh, it's such a beautiful day. I could go out and walk, get my exercise done. Or it will be a better meditation after my coffee or my tea. Or let me read the news and then I will get to it. A better option. Something, mind doesn't care what you do, as long as you don't do that you had promised to do. Little temptation of something that feels better, that mind will say, oh, I don't feel like really doing it. Maybe I should go for a walk. Then I will get in the mood. Then I will do this. Dham. And if you are able to work through that one somehow, no, I have to, let me finish this. Third one is called Dand. Dand means fear. Some kind of fear will creep in that requires your immediate attention. Oh, I must make this phone call. Let me check the text. Did I let the dog out? Did I let the cat in? Whatever. Something else needs your attention in that moment. Dand means fear. The fear is, if I don't do this, something bad might happen. Mind still doesn't care as long as you don't do that. It's just creating these little scenarios. Somehow you are able to cross through that. And you started your practice, you started your meditation, you started your prayer, you started sitting in the name of your divinity every day, honoring yourself. You have been doing it for a while. It hasn't given up yet. The fourth and most powerful noose, lasso of the mind, is bhed. Bhed means separation. You have been doing it for a while. It will come. Oh, it doesn't work for me. I'm different. It will separate you from the rest. I'm different. I'm special. I'm unique. I'm a Hindu. I'm a Muslim. I'm a Christian. I'm a Jew. I'm a Buddhist. I'm number 8. I'm a Gemini. I'm a Sagittarius. I am Kapha, Pitta, Vata, whatever. It will put a label on you and say, I am different. It doesn't work for me. This is bhed, separation. So I have seen people who have been practicing for years. And then they stop. They have been praying for years, they stop. They have been going to church for years, they stop. They have been going to temple, stop. Why? Oh, it doesn't work for me, I'm different. So some denial of the importance of the promise you have made to yourself, that it's not a big deal. It gives us to stagnation, procrastination, because we don't think it's that important. Better option is a distraction from our commitment, from our practice. Fear is also a distraction. And bhed, separation from the rest. Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed. These are the 4 lassos of the mind that everyone, every practitioner should be aware of. And it's not only about the spiritual practice. It's about anything in life. You have made a promise to yourself, okay, from tomorrow on, I'm going to do something good for my health. You are trying to form a routine. Mind will come in with these 4 lassos because mind does not like discipline. Discipline is not a negative thing. Discipline sets us free. In the beginning, any kind of discipline, people feel constricted or somebody's telling them what to do. But discipline really sets us free. Free from what? Free from undisciplined mind. Undisciplined mind is always saying, oh, I don't feel like this today. Maybe I feel like that today. And someday it doesn't even know what it feels like. Some days you feel like, I don't know what to do. I don't feel like anything. So for anyone who is trying to walk on a path of spirituality, this is very important to understand the nature of the mind. Mind is not bad. Mind is a wonderful tool. It's a wonderful friend, but a terrible master. Mind can be a wonderful friend, but a terrible master. This is why in the world of yoga, there is so much emphasis on training our mind, disciplining our mind. Once it's trained, it's disciplined a little bit, it sets us free. So I would suggest, please look at yourself. You have tried to bring some kind of routine in your life. You have tried to bring some kind of discipline in your life, and how this mind has knocked you off the path. Please know, spirituality is not a mystery. It's not a mystery. Spirituality is beyond any religion. It's all about honoring yourself, honoring the gift that you have received, the gift of life. If someone has given you a gift, if you appreciate that gift and take care of it and use it, and the person who has given it to you is automatically very happy. So we don't have to do anything to please God if you think there is a God. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is honor, respect the gift of life that you have already been given. And before you can go out there to do good in the world or to feel that you are doing something good, you have to be good to this gift that has been given. If this one is healthy, this one is happy, this one is centered, connected, devoted, no matter where you are, automatically you will be doing good. But first, everything starts at home. You take care of yourself. You love yourself. You respect yourself. You honor yourself. The change we want to see in the world, first we bring the change in ourselves. So this is a wonderful time of the year. The old year is ending. New year is about to come. And the time that is passing is not going to come back. Every moment is precious. With negativity, resentment, the only cure for this all is self-love. Only cure. And the self-love, the practice of self-love is very simple. Very simple. That begins with carving out little time every day to do something very concrete in the name of honoring that aspect of yourself. Some people I see who is here, some people are practicing for years. Please, as you sit down to meditate or pray or do your practice, remind yourself, just reinforce that idea. I'm sitting down here to honor that aspect within me, which is whole, which is complete, which is ever pure, which is untouched by whatever is happening in my life. We have this human life, ups and downs are bound to happen. All kinds of people will come and go and events will happen. That's changing. But there is one aspect that never changes, and it is that towards which we have to take our mind to. It's the one that's unchanging, one is constantly changing, and between these two banks, the river of life flows. And we are constantly identifying with this, that which is changing, events. But this always stays there, unchanging, smiling. The purpose of spiritual practice is to turn our attention towards this, even for 5-10 minutes. That gives us immense power, immense strength to deal with what may come in our life. Now, once you have done this even for 5-10 minutes every day, it's not like, okay, you have done it, now you are done for the day. Something from this keeps coming into this. We bring our spirituality into action. So this is why I say your spiritual practice should be so simple that it can come into any aspect of your life. Whenever you are a little stressed, whenever you're a little anxious, whenever you are a little fearful or angry, this can come into this. How? Take that mindful deep breath, thinking that I am whole, I'm complete, I'm pure, I'm unblemished. This will pass. This will pass because it's changing. I'm not stuck with it. It reminds me of a story of the two monks. They were walking. They came to a river. There was a woman sitting there on the bank of the river. She was scared to wade the river and cross. Other monk just picked her up. And they both walked across the river. He left her there. The monks went on. After an hour, the other monk turned to him. You touched a woman. We are not supposed to touch a woman. The one who had picked up the woman, he said, well, I left her by the river and you are still carrying her. So how we carry things in our mind. Our practice of meditation, practice of prayer, gives us that tool, how to separate ourselves from this which is happening. People bring their troubles in their prayer. People bring their troubles in their meditation. The whole idea of prayer and meditation is to separate myself from this. When I can only be present to this fully, without bringing anything from this, it gives us strength to deal with this. Once we begin to touch base with, to identify with that which is always present in its purity, in its wholeness, just sitting with it for 5-10 minutes gives us insight, gives us strength to deal with what is happening over here. So please never underestimate the power of your prayers and your meditation. Do not judge your prayers and the strength of your prayers and meditations because you say, oh, I prayed for it for years and nothing happened. Plenty happened. You just did not notice it because your mind was fixated on certain results. Plenty happened. Our power of our prayer and meditation is immense. It's like a room is filled with darkness. It can be overwhelming. Just strike a match. The whole room fills up with light. Such is the power of our prayer and meditation. It's like striking that match. Things happen. We just do not see it because our seeing is limited to certain result. It has happened, but just because we were looking for it that way, it didn't happen, so we say it didn't work. It works. It gives us strength to deal with whatever may come. If we are given challenge, we are also given the strength to deal with it. But our mind is too focused on the challenge, on the difficulty, on the problem, we don't see the strength. To be able to just stop, take a step back, take a deep breath, open ourselves to see beyond and around that problem, you will see it's already there. It's also given to you. So stress, negativity, fear, anger, jealousy, all those things are there. You're too focused on just that. Stay focused on your strength, your ability, your capacity to deal with it. The more you are connected with your core, with your real self, the easier you'll be able to deflect those things and life will go on. The old proverb in India is, dogs keep barking, elephant keeps walking. I'm not saying you are an elephant, but it's just the it's just the proverb. Dog keeps barking, elephant keeps walking. Dogs will go away after they have barked for a while. The more you connect with your prayers and meditations, more you identify with that which is whole in you, which is complete in you, which is one with God in you, you are fine. Problems will come, problems will go. Anyway, right now I'll stop right here and I will let you check in with each other. And if you have any questions, I would love to hear your questions and your experience. And please remember, Sam, Dam, Danda, Bhed. Denial of the importance of your practice, better option, some kind of fear, and separation. These are the 4 lassos of the mind. And that's what I wanted to remind you that whenever next time it creeps in, you can recognize which of those 4 is this that is trying to knock me off from my discipline. thank you all for being present. Shannon, open up the chat rooms.
Would you like to do the chat rooms? So I'm going to put people in pairs and break.
Or we could just ask questions right now. That's fine.
I was thinking that I was going in that direction, but either way.
Yeah, let's open up for the question and answer.
That sounds good. So if you'd like to ask Babaji a question directly, you can raise your hand using the raise hand icon down at the bottom of your screen. You can also type a question to me, chat me a question, and I'm happy to relay it to him if you'd prefer that way. Or you can just let me know I'd like to ask Babaji a question and I can call on you. So all questions or comments are welcome. Thomas.
Hi, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. Hello, Baba. I do have a question.
Yes,
The first noose, the denial of your promise. If you're promising yourself to meditate every day, and then you come upon your regular meditation time, but something interferes with that and you decide to postpone it for 2 or 3 hours, is that still letting the noose take you away? You're still doing the meditation, but you're changing your promise to a couple hours later. Did you see what I mean?
I see. It's still, you're giving it a little longer lease. But the idea is, it's okay, but keep working towards like fixing that particular time you meditate, and that time itself creates some energy.
Because you're making a very firm commitment.
Yeah.
And it's more powerful to keep that promise exactly as you originally planned.
Exactly.
I see.
Anything that's more important, gets a little more. So it's only for 10 minutes, but just really make it very solid. Then
that resonates with me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sure. Actually, it becomes harder. If you postpone it, you'll see, then it's harder to bring you back. So that's my experience.
So there's several questions coming in, and then Sanjay has their hand up.
Babaji, pranam. This is Sanjay and Sangeeta.
Pranam, Babaji.
Sangeeta has some questions she wants to ask Babaji.
Babaji, pranam. एक क्वेश्चन है, मैं शुरू की हूँ मेडिटेशन के लिए, बट टाइम फिक्स नहीं है, और जब भी मेडिटेशन के लिए बैठती हूँ एकदम बेचैन हो जाती बाबाजी, एकदम कि मैं कर नहीं पाती और लगता है कि कंप्लीट करना है.
I'm sure everybody understood her question. Okay, so you translate it.
Okay, so what Sangeeta is saying that she does meditation, couple of things. A, not maybe on the same time every day, and second, when she starts the meditation, she gets restless and kind of have a different kind of a feelings, physical as well as mental. So how to deal with that? Probably that's the question.
For that, you begin with little pranayam, like breathing in through the left nostril and hold, and out through the right. Do that 3, 4, 5 times, and then just sit there, and you will see that helps. Little pranayam helps.
Okay.
Yes, Babaji.
Thank you, Babaji.
Thank you, Babaji.
Okay, Babaji, there's a question. Babaji, can you comment on the distinction of leaving our troubles behind in prayer and meditation and spiritual bypassing?
I'm not saying just leave him for 10 minutes. Leave the woman at the bank for a while. Don't carry it. So it's not a spiritual bypass. It's actually just putting the burden down and regaining your strength so you can pick it a little easier. So this is why I emphasize that 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you got 24 hours to carry that burden. You got 24 hours to deal with all that. But just carve out 10 minutes, 15 minutes to touch base with this. And this will get to you, give you strength to deal with it. So I'm not proposing that, okay, ignore it. Just put it down for 10 minutes so you can regain your strength and balance to deal with it. They will be there as long as we have this, it will continue. We'll look at, but how to rejuvenate ourselves, how to gain strength to deal with it. I always remind people that don't pray for anything. Don't ask God for anything. Just only ask for one thing. Please give me strength to deal with it. Otherwise, one problem goes away and you pray for one, the second one comes up and you are constantly begging, begging, begging. Why, if you have to beg, why not beg for one thing that you can handle it? If you have strength, you have courage, you have devotion, you have faith, you have trust, you'll deal with no matter what comes your way. So it's not a spiritual bypass, it's more enabling yourself to deal with whatever is happening.
Next question, Babaji. Pranam, Babaji. How do we discipline our mind when we know it's trying to knock us off from our practice, especially when it's trapping us emotionally?
Take a step back from whatever is happening here. And how do we take a step back? The very simple and practical way is to just stop your breath for a second, right here. Just hold the breath in. Mind, whatever is engaged with, will come back. Then take a nice deep breath and take 2, 3, 4 deep breaths just in that state. At least it gives you a little separation from that which you're totally immersed with. So even little space sometimes can give us a little freedom. It is called heaven and hell are one breath apart. So use this gift of breath to deal with it. So whenever you are really in it, stop your breath. Again, then begin to breathe 3, 4, 5 times and do this practice 3, 4, 5 times, and you will see that you have gone a little bit separation from that, and then do whatever is in front of you. Take care of little things in the house, do work in the garden, go outside, look at the sky. Its whole idea is to just separate your mind from this so it's not totally immersed in it all the time. And slowly, 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 practice, 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 you're able to distance yourself. If you have a mantra, if you have a practice, like even breathing in, breathing out, breathing in so, breathing out hum, just laying in your bed, just do that for 4 or 5 times. You will see the difference.
There's some more, Babaji. One is, my husband passed away a year ago on December 21st, and when I meditate, I'm overwhelmed with sadness. Is that a noose?
Do not fight that sadness, go in it. Just say, okay, I embrace you, see what happens. So the notion of sadness that it's a negative thing is causing that trouble to you. If you do not fight that sadness, welcome it as a sacred thing happening, okay? You will see, if you stop fighting it or pushing it away, embrace that sadness. Once you become come closer to it, it will lose its power over you. That sadness will turn into something beautiful. So don't push it away. After some time, it will have a whole different flavor. It's something that we fight always has a power over us. If we don't fight, if we embrace it, it loses that power over you and takes a whole different flavor. So it's a deeper tantric practices, to not fight with anything. We do not fight, we embrace. Just to give you a simple little example, one day I had a headache, big headache. And Tylenol was right there. I could easily take one and pop in my mouth. But I said, no, let me just explore it. So I looked at my fighting it. Then I just pulled back and embraced it. Just, okay, headache, let me see what it's all about. And when I stopped fighting and when I just relaxed around it, within 5 minutes, the headache went away. Our body, our mind, our everything has tremendous capacity to heal itself, to gain its balance. Just this, our notion, our idea, our habit of fighting keeps us in that place. So nothing is bad. Even the sacred and the sadness, embrace it, and you will see it takes on a whole different notion. And the sadness that the husband is passed away, even accepting that the one who is born sooner or later has to die, and that soul is on its own journey, and the time that we have had was a good time together, and see him moving in the light, see that presence in the light, focus on the light, you will see the darkness of sadness, the emptiness that you're harboring will go away by setting him free.
Thank you, Babaji. Anna, I see your hand up. I'm just going to take one more from the chat and then we'll go to you. From grief to anger. So thank you, Baba. This is such wonderful guidance. My 9-year dedicated meditation practice has transformed my life. However, anger is my Mount Everest. Our minds are most insistent to remind us of negative past experiences. Why is this so?
I don't go into why. I more like to think about what to do. Because why has so many, what are you going to do with that anger? That's what I would like to deal with. Anger has energy. It has lots of power behind it. In my old ashram, there was a big rock, and 2 of us were trying to move it, and we couldn't even move it. And this person came in. He was an old member of the ashram. He has passed away. He was very angry. And instead of talking to me, he had come to talk to me. I said, Rob, could you move that rock? And he went in there and he just picked it up and moved it. And after that, he calmed down. So all that energy that anger creates, it needs to be channeled in a right direction. Are you able to transform that energy of anger into the energy of love? That's the question you should be asking yourself. Yes, this is an energy of anger. The more you keep focusing on the other, that will not give you the solution to the problem. You have to focus on yourself. Okay, this is what I'm feeling. This is the energy I'm feeling inside. What am I going to do with it? Be the alchemist. You have been given this energy. Now it's up to you to channel it. So I would say, try to ask yourself that question. I have this energy of anger. What am I going to do with it? And my job is to transform this energy of anger into the energy of love. And if you don't know what to do, if you can't love a human being, try to love an animal. If you can't love an animal, try to love a plant. Go out, dig something and make some ground beautiful. Touch the earth and you will see that energy dissipates. But the question always you have to sit with, not why this anger, what am I going to do with it? And once you start channeling it, you will see that it becomes less. That's not an answer a psychologist will give you, but that's what I think. That's the way I function.
There's thank yous about that answer in the chat, and I agree. And then Anna has her hand up.
Hi, Babaji.
Yes, Anna.
My question is, so I tend to lose that presence, the non-changing presence often, and I tend to forget about it. And because I get so wrapped up in the changing self, and it's very hard to get out of it because I don't remember the non-changing.
Mhm.
But what keeps me away even further is that I tend to blame myself and punish myself when I realize I've strayed too far away. And I don't know what to do with that self-punishment, the guilt that I feel when I've strayed far away.
I think for you, what will be very helpful, that create a little ritual of something. Like even in your house, just create a little sacred spot. Put anything on that thing that means sacred to you. And just go and just bow and put your head to the floor. Just even for 30 seconds. Let that energy go to the earth. And then take a few deep breaths and then do something new. You got all this energy, you need to pour it down. This is why in all different traditions, there is a ritual of bowing, putting our floor to the ground, kneeling, even in the church. God doesn't care whether you kneel or not. But when you do that, something happens in you. So when you just touch your earth with your forehead, all this energy that's burdening you goes down in the earth. And know that after doing this, I got a fresh start. And being a human, we all make mistakes. So allow that to yourself, that it happened, I slipped, I'll try again. And we all cannot be in the remembrance of that sacred all the time. If we were, then we'll be perfect. We'll be saints. So this is the journey. This is the work that we have to do. We will forget, but as long as you come back home by the end of the day, you're not listed as a missing person.
Yeah.
So allow that, be human, but always keep reminding, just go to the altar, bow, and just take a few deep breaths and say, next time I'll do a little better.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, there's several more in the chat. The next one is Pranam Babaji. The opposing forces can interrupt the connection between our being and God without our being aware of it? Question mark.
Opposing forces are there, but the more you look at the opposing forces, the stronger it will get. So I would not even think too much about it. First, my work is to focus on creating some 10, 15, 20 minutes of sacred time in my daily life and focus with that. And the more we connect with that, they will lose their power over us. See, when we point finger at somebody, we are pointing the fault in the other person with one finger, but three are looking at me. So the whole idea of spiritual practice is to look at yourself more than you look at the other. Always keep looking at yourself. How am I feeling? What can I do about it? The more we look at the other, the more our energy flows and keeps dissipating.
There's a couple of more questions. The next one is, I have a hard time being present in the time I set aside for my practice when I have a lot of tasks to complete or places to be. How do I keep myself calm in my practice and less antsy thinking about how much or little time I have?
Can you carve out 2 minutes? 1 minute? So make the practice time shorter. Go wash your face, wash your hands, wash your feet, prepare yourself for that. Sit down for a minute or two, and then just say that's enough. So that takes care of the guilt. And when you don't feel guilty, it's all good. So minimize the time of the practice. Move on. Someday you have more time. It's better to sit even for 2 minutes with clean slate of the mind than carrying all that and sitting for half an hour. So I am a big proponent of that.
Thank you, Babaji. There's one more question. How do you transfer the energy of depression when someone is feeling hopeless and helpless?
Make effort, a small effort. I have heard that people don't even feel like getting out of the bed when they're depressed. Small effort, just get out of the bed, go to the bathroom, wash your face, look at yourself in the mirror, and sit somewhere on a chair, sit in front of, just change the scene, change the place, and just close your eyes and breathe. You're breathing anyway, even in the bed. Why not sit in a chair or somewhere and just feel the sun, feel the breeze touching you. Just take your mind from that which is keeping you all, even the self-loathing that's keeping you all in the bed, tied down. Just change the place, change the position of your body, and bring your mind to that breath. Breathing in, I know I'm breathing in. Breathing out, I know I'm breathing out. Breathing in, I think of so. Breathing out, I think of hum. Just do something a little different than the mind is all wrapped up in what's keeping you down on the bed. It takes a little effort, little effort. And we can do that. At least I think we can do that. I cannot speak from the experience, but if you are breathing, you can meditate. If you're laying down in the bed, even laying down in depression, can you just, while breathing in, think of soul, breathing out, think of hum, just do that 10, 15, 20 times. Something to, and when you have done that, you begin to feel a little good about yourself because of the effort you have made. And maybe that becomes a catalyst to change the situation. Little effort is the effort that we make that makes us alive, that gives us the strength.
There are lots of thank yous in the chat, Babaji, but that's the last question.
Thank you, everyone. And it's wonderful to refresh, and revisit, and hopefully this satsang has been a little helpful and inspirational. And I will see you again. Thank you all very much.